Oh my God, I can't even. These two, Meghan and Harry, are the worst.
I knew her a bit before she met Harry. She was nothing like that. She didn't speak like that. Her mannerisms weren't like that. This is all fake.
This is a lady who's very popular for being awful.
You just can't keep faking it. It's too hard.
To live my life really authentically, make choices authentically, being able to be so authentically myself.
I've never seen this sort of before. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
Have you been hanging out with Meghan and Harry since
No.
they've been in California?
No.
What do you think of them?
They're ridiculous.
Hello and welcome to HushBuzzz, where the tea is never lukewarm. Today we unravel the curious case of Meghan Markle's royal status, examining the flames Joe Rogan fanned in his recent podcast, the brand blunders, and the relentless media scrutiny. Expect a dash of sarcasm, a sprinkle of intrigue, and plenty of natural flow. Ready? Let's begin.
Meghan just wanting her privacy, but not being able to find it with Netflix cameras in her face, which is weird. Because I'm usually when I want my privacy, that's what I do. I hire a team, a videographer, and I sign an $88 million deal with Netflix and a $25 million deal with Spotify. And I feel sad for them. I do. I feel sad. I don't know why they're not able to get their privacy. And she is a victim. I believe it. I have been programmed to believe it.
Picture Meghan proudly proclaiming she's all about authenticity, yet signing an $88 million Netflix deal and a $25 million Spotify contract. Critics argue, you can't decry the media machine while feeding it a gourmet buffet of exclusive interviews. Even her memoir and her Oprah sit-down have been dissected as yet another revenue stream rather than a genuine confession. Joe Rogan didn't hold back, calling her a phony who struggles to show even a scrap of realness. Today, we peel back that authenticity, or lack thereof, like a digital onion, layer by questionable layer. We'll consider her promises of privacy versus her public admissions and ask, is this simply savvy personal branding or true paradox?
You know what's going on. Someone wanted a lot of attention and now they got it. I mean, she used to be on Deal or No
infiltrated?
Deal. She was one of the Deal
Is that
or No Deal
technically
ladies.
the way it works? Is he
I
infiltrated
think so.
or was she infiltrated?
Well, it depends on who's
yeah.
getting pegged.
Yeah.
It depends on the methods.
Yes, Meghan was once a hot lady on Deal or No Deal, holding suitcases for ratings. That brief stint on a daytime game show might seem trivial, but critics have since likened it to a metaphor for her entire trajectory, from objectified contestant to sensationalized Duchess. Fast forward, she marries Prince Harry, becomes a Duchess, then steps back, and suddenly she's both victim and villain, criticized for complaining about the tabloids while releasing million-dollar content deals. Body language experts dissect her tears, claiming they're all blinks and wipes, no real moisture in sight. Joe Rogan quips, she's a trained actress studying her audience. Whether you agree or not, there's something theatrical about a Duchess crying on cue, especially when every sniffle is zoomed into death on YouTube.
Now, Meghan, just last week, she did her first long-form sit-down podcast interview. She showed a basket that she had sent to the host of the podcast as a thank you for allowing her to come on. And here you can kind of zoom in here and it says, with the compliments of Her Royal Highness, the Duchess of Sussex. She was caught red-handed using Her Royal Highness. That is a title that was stripped from her when she and Harry made their whole racism debacle and left the UK, left their royal duties, and moved to the US to bug all of us for the last couple of years.
Remember the gift basket signed Her Royal Highness the Duchess of Sussex? Despite having officially relinquished her royal titles, when she and Harry stepped back from duty, she tucked HRH right back into her signature on that thank you note. Critics likened it to someone quitting their job but still showing up for the paycheck and the perks. Buckingham Palace sources reportedly issued a terse reminder that once titles are renounced, they cannot be used. But that didn't stop Meghan from including HRH in private correspondence, sparking furor among royal watchers. Defenders say she's still Harry's wife. But skeptics fire back, if you didn't want the title, don't keep using it as a marketing tool. The internet went wild. Memes, mocking tweets, and late-night sketches imagining Meghan approaching her mailman in full regalia, curtsying for delivery. It's the sort of branding stunt that makes palace aides grind their teeth. Gossip blogs whisper that Meghan once placed Prince Harry's photo on a vision board long before they met. She denies interest in royalty, but critics claim it was all part of a grand plan. Audition for the role of Duchess. According to exes and insiders, she was ambitious, networking behind the scenes, quietly arranging lunch meetings with influencers and publicists. Whether that's true or fabricated, it fuels the narrative. Meghan is mastermind, Meghan is victim of her own ambition, Meghan is both. And Joe Rogan labels it the most intense job interview ever. Your boss is also your future father-in-law. Talk about pressure. Add to that the anecdote about her flipping through self-help books on coping under scrutiny, and you see why many wonder if there was some carefully orchestrated path from Hollywood to Windsor. Prince Harry, once the world's rebellious royal playboy, declares he'll step back, yet still demands taxpayer-funded security whenever he visits the UK. Critics scoff. Quit your job, then quit complaining about your paycheck. Meanwhile, his memoir, Spare, occasioned backlash for passages that painted his family as unfeeling, callous, and out of touch, prompting headlines like, Harry the Haggler's recounts royal tyranny. These stories feed the perception that Harry alternates between emotional rebel and entitled ex-prince. Americans in particular largely see him as a privileged prince throwing a public tantrum, exploiting family drama to sell books and podcasts. Some supporters argue he's simply telling his side of the story. Others retort that he's profiting off personal grievances rather than healing family wounds.
Meghan's podcast has fallen off the charts. She's been criticized for the content. There are rumors that her As Ever launch wasn't as successful as she considered it. Critically, With Love Meghan was not a success.
Meghan's first foray into post-royal entrepreneurship, American Riviera Orchard. A dreamy name until she rebranded to As Ever. Marketing geniuses, right? The shift in branding sparked speculation. Was she distancing herself from the orchard motif because it sounded too provincial? Then came Trademark Drama. Her new logo allegedly lifted from a small Spanish town's coat of arms, prompting legal threats. Imagine a duchess, however former, being sued by Mallorca, Spain, over an ornamental symbol. Memes erupted. Next on Netflix, the bath salt heist. Duchess vs. Town Hall, logo wars. Even some design bloggers praised Mallorca for spotting the resemblance, while others mocked Meghan's team for seemingly overlooking a Google search. The entire saga made people question, if your brand pivots so quickly and poorly, what does that say about your decision-making process?
Troubles for poor Meghan. She's been threatened with a $10 million lawsuit after a woman suffered catastrophic burns, allegedly from the Duchess's do-it-yourself bath salt recipe. This is a recipe that Kinsey featured on her Netflix show. What else can you tell me about this?
Well, I could tell you I spoke to 2 attorneys about this. Both said this potential.
Speaking of Netflix flops, enter Meghan's Cooking Meets DIY show where bath salts made an unscripted appearance. It was billed as a cozy, down-to-earth glimpse into Meghan's life until a diabetic viewer reportedly suffered chemical burns using a DIY bath salt recipe. Now, headlines screamed. Duchess of Sussex sued for $10 million in bath salt fiasco. Attorneys weighed in, calling it a damaging PR liability. Critics sneer, a cooking show that injures viewers. Only Meghan and Harry could attempt something so unique. Meanwhile, some fans defended her, noting that product disclaimers were included. Yet critics pointed out that the instructions were vague and potentially harmful to those with skin sensitivities. Her PR response: "We're sorry for any harm, but our recipes are for entertainment." A classic deflection or an innocent misstep? You decide. One thing's clear. When a simple recipe sparks legal threats, you know the drama is far from over. Far from you.
Meghan Markle. That's the big distraction.
That's the big distraction right there.
There's a war room apparently in England where they're trying to figure out what to do.
The internet crowdsourced its verdict. Meghan's running a 24/7 soap opera. On Twitter, you'll find enough sarcasm to fill a teapot. She's playing a manipulative long game. She's still exploiting the royal brand. She's the world's greatest off-screen actress. Even fan polls show a split. Roughly 50% of respondents say they find Meghan inauthentic, while a smaller contingent insists she's a modern feminist icon unjustly targeted by the press. Sure, some whisper, maybe she's genuinely misunderstood, pointing to her tearful monologues and bedtime emails to her kids. But skeptics see that as carefully crafted image management, scripted confessions to fuel a Netflix deal. Late-night comics riff on her every gesture. Meme makers compare her expressions to Zoom call freeze frame. It's a relentless tide of public opinion, sometimes scathing, sometimes sympathetic, but always hungry for more.
But I just can't stand her. I just think she's such a phony.
Harry and Meghan, they have an issue when it comes to their memory and when it comes to the truth.
You know, you're just fragile. They want it both ways. You know, you can't be, these people were so mean to us and poor us, and we don't want all this attention, and then let me write a book about how much we don't want attention.
So where do we go from here? Will Meghan and Harry retreat into quiet obscurity? Or will they double down, churning out documentaries, brand launches, and podcasts until the world's attention shifts? Rumor mill predicts another tell-all, hush-hush, Hollywood deals, hush-hush lawsuits, hush-hush betrayals. There's even talk of Oprah scheduling a follow-up to end all follow-ups. But the real question, how long before the public grows weary? How many more times can she cry on camera? How many more times can Harry lament his royal plight? Their supporters say there's still much to reveal. Perhaps more insight into their Netflix deal, upcoming charity initiatives, or details about security concerns. Detractors, however, anticipate fresh scandals, a new bath product gone wrong, another branding misstep, or yet another leaked family text. As long as we watch, anticipating each eyebrow raise, each HRH signature, there will be new tea to spill. Our time together may be winding down, but the saga is far from over. Meghan Markle's story, intertwined with Prince Harry's, remains the ultimate reality show. Part drama, part tragedy, part comedy, all served with a side of tea. We've charted her authenticity claims, her training as an actress, the HRH card controversy, her brand flops, and the fierce sibling rivalry that keeps royal commentators busy. Now it's up to you. Will you keep sipping this tea or set the cup down and walk away? Either way, tomorrow's headline might just eclipse today's. Until next time, stay curious, stay skeptical, and always stay thirsty for the next sip of royal intrigue.